You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
something
We in the
NBA.
building down in Sports Talk, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all be? Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all good? Left-handed right here. You already know. If you don't, now you know. At RM Desk on Twitter, get at me. And that's my code D in the house right there. Y'all the bear in the house.
What's
All
going
right.
on?
That's and we in the building. Um, we're gonna send an extra straight shout out to the homie Win Walker. All right,
Yes.
he's going through his situation right now, so we wish him the best. He actually had his procedure done yesterday, so he's feeling a little bit better. He's on the other side. He's still with us and all that. So everything is everything. Salute, man. You got the link, so tap in when you get it when you get a chance. We in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk. This is how we do the best sports talk show that you ain't heard of yet. And if you haven't, what's the matter with you? You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff going on tonight. We talked behind the scenes how we wanted to do a WNBA preview, but I think we're gonna have to push that back to next week because there's so much stuff going on as far as the NBA. We're gonna get into that heavy tonight. A lot of stuff, other things are going on, but it's playoff time. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So it's down to time to get serious and real. And Yada Bear, I want you to talk about your squad and talk about what you think about the playoffs. Don't let me forget to talk about the New York Knicks tonight.
I'm
Please,
sorry.
whatever you do, if you can see it in
Oh,
your heart.
be sure
Don't,
that you won't forget to mention the Knicks at all during this broadcast. But yes, tonight,
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
um,
that was cool. That was slick. That was
actually, right now, we got our game 5 of Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia Sixers. Series both is knotted out at 2 apiece. So basically, right now, we're playing the best of 3. Um, we're in the second quarter. Sixers up 42-33 with 7 minutes and some change left in the second quarter. Um, Man, what can I say about this series? This series has been a roller coaster of emotions.
good.
I'll put it that way. We was on an extreme high, on after game 1. We played very hard without Joel and B. James Harden came in, dropped 45 piece on them with the game winning shot. We stole the game from Boston in Boston. Um, without Joel, which was game 1, which was huge. Then we get into game 2, and game 2 we kind of went back to reality where our flaws was magnified. Joel came back, I think, a little too soon. I don't think he should have played that game anyway. We got blown out. There was a lot of standing around watching Joel. The game kind of slowed down because Joel's on the floor, and like you expect us to feed the big man, the MVP. James Harden had, it wasn't a terrible game, but a below average game. He still had a double double, but we needed the aggressive James Harden out there. We haven't really got any help from our other role guys. Maxi has been put in check. Um, his decision making hasn't been very up and up. His shot selection hasn't, really been good. He's the fastest guy on the floor. He should be running, like running the court. He should be up and down the court. He should be cutting to the basket more and stop settling for 3 pointers and long jump shots. Tobias Harris, extremely inconsistent. But that's been his whole thing here in Philly. We always have a string of inconsistency when it comes to Tobias Harris. Sometimes he's disengaged. Sometimes he doesn't know what he want to do with the ball. He seems so confused sometimes out there. Um, and we really need him to be consistent. I get it that he's been playing decent on the defensive side, and I know locking up Jason Tatum, that's a hard thing to do for anybody to be able to still have the energy to produce on the offensive side. But when you're playing 39 minutes, I need more than 9 points from you, player. You know, I need something from you on the offensive side of the ball. Um, PJ gonna do what PJ does, which is play hard on defense, be that leader on the floor, and be that scrappy guy. He did something that was very important after during game four. People was pointing out that Joel didn't have a great game, and I'm like, well, that's crazy because he was 34-12. I mean, when is 34-12 in a playoff game? Not a really good game.
When
Uh,
you go 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter.
I was getting there. In the
All right,
fourth
okay.
quarter, he kind of shut down. PJ came up to him and said some really strong stuff to him that he needed to hear that nobody else would say to him. We all know PJ mo. We know PJ is that guy that's kind of still stuck in that old school format where he will come up to you and tell you when you're playing like trash. And that's basically what he told Joel. Yo, you're playing like trash. You letting Al Horford check you. Like, and it was true. Like, Al Horford always played Joel tight. We have seen that years. He had Joel in a position where he was one, overthinking it. Two, he kind of lost a little confidence in himself in his shot and his decision making. The best decision that he made in overtime was to pass out that double team to James Harden, who hit, the game winning shot, who dropped 45. I mean, excuse me, 42 in game four. So we got two 40-point performances out of James in the series so far. I didn't expect that. I was expecting more of a team effort, more of Joel being dominant, hopefully more Maxi coming into himself, but that's not what we're getting in this series right now. Um, right now, what I'm looking for tonight game is consistent scoring across the board. I need more people to score. Boston had about what 6 guys in double figure in game four, where we have about 3. Like, that can't happen. It has to. We need help from off the bench. The bench has been our Achilles heel for forever. Ever since Joel been here, we just can't get right with the bench. Um, Also, if I'm being honest, the Celtics gave away that game. The coach Joe, he pocketed 2 timeouts. What are you holding on 2 timeouts for? They don't carry over to the next game. He could have called, like, after James hit the three to put us up. It was still like 9 seconds left on the clock. You call a timeout to advance the ball to half court. That saves you about 4 seconds from getting the ball from one end of the court to the other end. And then you go into your offensive set, and once again, at the end of the game, Jason Tatum is not the one to take the shot. And even though Marcus Smart made the shot at the end, for time had expired because they took too long to get to the set. It's like, well, why didn't you call a timeout and have a set play for your best player who was hot? Because Jason Tatum was having a terrible game in the first half. He couldn't buy a basket. In the second half, he started to heat up some, and especially in the fourth quarter and in overtime. But hey, you live, you learn. This is his first season as head coach, his first playoffs, as a head coach, and that's something that um he'll learn from, hopefully, in the future. But if we can take game five, I still feel confident with my pick with Sixers and 6. If we can take game five. What
Well,
about
I feel like you kind of summed everything up. You know what I mean? And of course, I think that being a Sixers fan, you would get into the meat and potatoes of it. You know what I mean? And not just try to give a powder puff assessment.
Oh, nah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely, because that's how we give it up over here. Down in Sports Talk, we're in the building, man. We live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on StreamYard, and all that good stuff. Make sure you tap in with Yada Bear right there. You know what I mean? On Twitter, we're in the building heavy.
Always.
It's Tuesday night, man. It's what we do. Definitely, we're gonna get more into the Western Conference. We're gonna talk about the Lakers and Golden State. We're gonna definitely talk about Denver and Phoenix. You know what I mean? But we're gonna save that Knicks and Miami Heat things. I got some things I want to get off my chest when we talk about that. Um, when you talk about the Sixers and the Boston Celtics, a part of it being a very very historic rivalry. This is just the
Yeah.
newest intonation of this rivalry right here. Philadelphia, you could have either or. You take your pick your poison. You can take the Sixers or you can take the Celtics, and either way, you'll still be all right. But I don't think you're going to ask a Sixers fan to take the Celtics in
Oh,
any
never.
shape, form, or
Never that.
fashion. But again, coming back, making this a 2-2 series and then showing up tonight as you're doing right now, a couple minutes before halftime, it says a lot. You know what I mean? Joel Embiid, he doesn't have to do it by himself. Tyrese Maxey, like you said, he's the fastest guy on the floor. He should be able to take advantage of what's going on in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And again, your Tobias Harris's and those guys have to contribute as well. But I think so far so good. I mean, James Harden has stepped, took a got in the DeLorean and took, did his Back to the Future thing. You know what I mean? And again, I think
He
it's
was
a
6 years back in the past, 6 years ago.
absolutely, it's a better place when you have James Harden, booming 42, booming 45, and even though he had motivation, he had the guy that came to one of his fans, the guy that got hit in
Mm-hmm.
one of those incidents or
Oh,
whatever.
oh,
So
that school
yeah,
shooting
yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Yes,
Michigan
he
State.
definitely had motivation. But again, when you talk about the Boston Celtics, I mean, you have Doc Rivers against Joe Mazzulla. When you talk about the coaching scenario of it, Doc usually gets
Mm-hmm.
plastered around this time of year for what he doesn't do, or you know what
Yeah.
I mean, the mistakes that he made. But you haven't really heard that, and I think that's a positive thing. This series is the best 2 out of 3 right now. And I think the Sixers have the advantage because they're doing what they have to do right now on the road, and know they got Game 6 in pocket at home. So
Yep.
handle your business tonight. Do what you got to do. In Game 6, and you won't have to come back to Boston because right now, again, it's about the rest part of it. You know what I mean? We don't. A lot of other shows don't talk about that. You know what I mean? But we're going to talk about it because it's very important. The faster you win your series, the more rest you got for the next round.
Especially when you
You know
got
what I
a
mean?
player out there, you're the star player, the MVP, who's dealing with a knee sprain that he should still be out for. So yes, getting him healthy, getting James some rest, because we don't want no hamstring injury with James
Yeah.
during this run. Getting PJ some rest, things like that, like and then also giving people time to work on their shot, work on different scenarios, work on certain like situational basketball, plays out there. So definitely want to get this series over as soon as possible so that we can be rested for the next round. The
And
Eastern
again, you don't
Conference
want to be
Finals.
you don't want to have that fast turnaround when you win the series in 7 games. You go through all of those emotions and stuff like that. Then have to turn around and play Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you want to be able to have some kind of give yourself some kind of space between
Mhm.
one series to the next. Let's jump to the Western Conference right quick. And I know the series that either one of those series we could start off with. I'm gonna let you steer the ship. What series you want to start off with first in the West?
Well, let's talk about the Phoenix and the Nuggets series. I feel like that series hasn't gotten that much love. Um, and here we go, Denver. Spotlight's on you. You had them down 2-0, going back to Phoenix, down Chris Paul, you know, um, just two top heavy stars, Devin Booker and KD, and you let the Suns get back in the series. Once again, now it's best out of three. You already proved to me that you can't beat them back to back, games now. Like you can't beat them in Phoenix. You lost both games in Phoenix. And the game has changed. So this is like a new look that Denver's getting with Phoenix because they don't have Chris Paul. With Cameron Payne running the point, it's more fast paced. So which means Devin Booker can score quickly. He's scoring quicker. They're getting back on defense. Um, and I believe having Durant there with Booker kind of takes some of the stress off of Booker. Booker seems to be playing a lot more freely. And
Mm.
I've been a huge critic of Devin Booker because I didn't see him as like a superstar. I see him as a star. I didn't think he could carry a team. But now he's showing me some things now. Because not only is he leading and score, but he's also getting other people involved. He knows when to defer to Kevin Durant and let KD do his thing. Um, and he's taking better shots. He's seeing the court more, and I think Denver has a problem
Is that
because
is the way Booker playing? Is that a byproduct of Chris Paul not being around, or is it that's
yes,
just him? Being like you said, playing more free and more relaxed, and being able to kind of like you say, turn speed it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because
oh,
again,
I,
Chris
I
Paul, he
totally
walks the ball
agree.
up the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
totally think that it's because Chris Paul's not there. Chris Paul wants to slow the game down. Chris Paul can't run like he used to. He can't run up and down the court. The game is slow. He plays a slow game. It's kind of like the effect of Kyrie Irving and Luca. They can't coexist.
right,
And
it's got
now
it's like oil and water. One wants to take it,
one was
and the other
yeah.
wants to be deliberate. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
so I think people are now starting to see that and realize that with a faster point guard, we're not a half court team. They're not a half court team. To me, Phoenix is a run and gun team. They got a lot of young guys who can run, except for Chris Paul, who's your primary ball handler, who's your
Mhm.
point guard, who's out there directing traffic, but at a slower pace.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah, he's
without
doing
yeah,
he's
without
he's
him, it's
he's doing the
different.
traffic at the mall.
Exactly. So without him out there on the court, it's totally different. And
Right.
Phoenix, this feels like a different team, faster team, and I don't know because when you look at Denver, Denver's not known for their defense. We don't talk about Joker's defense at all. Yeah,
And for me with this series right here, Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns, it's run the gamut. First, we was talking about how the Denver Nuggets, with all of their firepower, Jamal Murray back, the Joker coming off, the two MVPs, and what's the other kid I'm thinking of, Michael Porter
Michael
Jr.
Porter
You know what I
Jr.
mean, and all of
Uh,
those guys.
Aaron
Denver
Gordon,
was supposed to run the West. Then all
Aaron
of a
Gordon,
sudden,
yeah,
the Phoenix Suns, when they got Kevin Durant, okay, past all that slipping on the floor, missing a few games and all of
hmm
that, they still were like 8-0, 9-0 when he was on the floor, in the games that he played. So now you turn it into the playoffs. Now it's like the talk went from Denver, now it's Phoenix. It went from Denver, now it's Phoenix. In this
yeah,
particular series, Denver was up 2-0, right?
yeah,
And so the talk was, oh, well, can Phoenix compete with Denver? All you heard about was the Porter Juniors, and you heard about, the Jamal
Aaron
Murray's and
Gordon,
Jokic doing this
Jamal
thing.
Murray,
Now it's tied at 2-2. And now it's that series is a toss up as well. So again, for me, it's like all the talk goes out of the window when you're up 2-0. Then you find yourself in game five, playing for your season, basically. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So I think that, the situation that everybody wants to hear us talk about, we get ready to talk about it, but we wanted to talk about the on the court stuff first. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because we both definitely have opinions about the situation with Nikolai Jokic and the Phoenix Suns owner. And I'm gonna let Yada Bear do her thing first because I had an opinion about it, but we talked in the green room, and I think she talked being off the ledge. So Yada, what's your thoughts about that situation? What happened with the Phoenix Sun owner Matt Ishbibba and Nikola Jokic in Game 4?
Well, I will say this. I think the NBA got it right this time, um, by not suspending him, but giving him a fine. Yes. What
Mm,
we talked about earlier is when
mm.
that ball goes into the crowd, why are you going out to get it? What are you doing? It's the referee's job to retrieve the ball. Not only why you going into the audience to try to get it, you're not at home. You're on the road. So of course the fan is not gonna give the ball to you, Joker. You're the enemy. I'm not gonna give you the ball. I'm gonna let the ref come over here. I'm gonna hand the ref the ball. Or hey, Devin Booker may have walked over there, or Kevin Durant or Cameron Payne. Yeah, I'm gonna give the ball to my guys, but I'm not gonna give the ball to you. I don't care if it was the owner. I don't care if it was just a regular fan, whoever it was. He should never went into. He should have never engaged with the fan at all. Should never engage with the fan at all. I'm not giving you the ball. I would give it to the ref. So what? So what? He has the ball. The ref is going to retrieve it because the game has to continue. It's not the end of the game. So you're going to get the ball back. Okay, so don't engage, because what if it was just a regular fan and you trying to snatch the ball out of my hand and the fan is on some wild stuff, and now he clocked you in the face. So now you have
Uh-oh.
malice at a palace,
You got the
situation
balance
where
at
you
the
have,
palace again.
yeah. So
Mhm.
now the fan and the players are tangling, or got, or in a tussle, and the
Right.
reason behind it is because you want to interact with the fan. You think that, hey, you should give me the ball back. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Now,
Listen,
if
I
he
got a
look,
whole
if he was in Denver, then it
right,
probably we wouldn't even be talking about them, because the
right. That's
fan
right.
would be like, hey,
That's
Joker,
true.
here you
I
go,
had I
here
had
you
a
go.
whole I had a whole different perspective on it because you know how I give it up, man. I'm like, okay, it's not just any guy. It's the owner of the Phoenix Suns. He put his hand on Jokic first, but we don't.
Okay,
We They don't play by them rules no more.
no,
It's
mm-mm.
who cares about who put their hands on who first. It's who got caught.
Exactly.
So for me, when Jokic, shoved the dude and the dude did a Al Pacino worthy, Oscar worthy flop back
Flip
into the
flop.
seats, give it up. Let's give it up for him. He had a lot of practice at Michigan State. Tom Izzo really showed him how to get his flop on.
Hey,
I mean,
listen.
shout out to my man Mateen. You know what I mean? So again, Jokic put himself in that position. I get everything that you were saying because at first I was like, no, this is crazy. They shouldn't have fined. They shouldn't suspend them, and they shouldn't have fined them. But as usual, Yada talks me off the ledge. You know what I mean? Because I was like, what is this? So they had to do something.
Yeah,
Um, Even though he kind of like embellished it and sold it as he slapped the
hey,
hell out of me, which that wasn't the case at all.
hey,
But I
listen.
guess being in enemy territory, because like Yada said, if the game was in Denver,
We won't be talking about
this would
this.
not be a topic of discussion.
No,
You know what I mean?
no,
But the
no.
game, it was in Phoenix, and then who's going to make that call against the owner of the team?
Exactly. And
It
and
would have been
and,
any other
and
fan.
like
They
I
would have
said,
got
he
escorted out
should
the
have
building.
never stepped. He
They would
should
have
he
escorted them out the
should have.
building. So who's going to make that call against the owner of the team who signs everybody's checks? Because you saw how the security dudes was going over there, like, oh, it's that guy. Did you
That's
see the look
right.
on their faces, like,
Yeah. Like, what you want me to do? Like,
like, I don't want to be bothered with this,
you
but
want me
it is
to
what it is.
you want me to
You know what I
escort the
mean?
guy who owns the team
Right,
to
right.
pay,
He's
like,
he's the
who's
guy that.
paying
Yep,
for this
that's it.
out the building?
He made it possible for everybody to be there. If it
Yes.
wasn't for him, you would have no Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? But
There we go.
again, I just think that like you said, it was a built-in situation for that. Adam Silver had to do something.
You
You know
got
what I mean?
to.
Because it could have been worse. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But I mean, I don't. Like I said, behind the scenes, I don't really do the hypotheticals or the what ifs. You know what I mean? But can you imagine that was like a Draymond Green doing that? Even I got one even worse for you. I dig in the old school chamber. You know how that's how I do. Vernon Maxwell.
Well, we didn't see him run up. We didn't see him
You're the first one to beat
run
up
up.
everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So
But
yeah,
yeah,
like
but like back to that, I just feel like don't get $25,000 is something to talk about for a few days or whatever, and then we get to game 5, and then we can get back to the on the court situation. But yeah, them to put themselves in a situation where they didn't think that they would be in,
yeah,
right?
going
And
go
Phoenix,
being up
Phoenix
2-0, going to
absolutely came up
Phoenix.
off the floor. Phoenix
Yeah,
came up off the floor. They said, you know what, we in this thing. We try to get to the Western Conference Finals too. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So again, that's where we are. In another situation like y'all talked about, it's going to be best 2 out of 3. Now
hmm
people are going to be interested, regardless of how late the games come on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
game 5 is tonight, huh?
Game 5 tonight after
Yeah.
yeah,
So so
after
that
this.
that's where we are with it. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the series could. I'm interested. At first, I was like Denver and Phoenix. That's the other Western Conference series. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
now I'm kind of invested in it. I want to see how this thing plays out. How Jokic is going to react, being at home,
yeah.
right?
And he going
How
is he gonna put up another 50-point triple double?
right? Are they going to
He gonna put up
establish
a triple
themselves as a team to
double.
beat? You know what I mean? In this series, absolutely.
You know.
Um, the other Western Conference final, the Western Conference semifinal, the Lakers
Woo!
and the Golden State Warriors. Are we looking at the end of a dynasty? Are we looking at the bubble, the revenge of the bubble?
Oh man,
Because a
it's
lot of people, myself included, not giving the Lakers a lot of credit for that championship that they won in the bubble. That's like, okay, they got a ring in the bubble, all right, well, but it was in the bubble. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So this series, Golden State Warriors looking at that to just be the end run. It's a lot of stuff going on with the Warriors. I know we're going to talk about Jordan Poole. You know what I mean? I want to talk about Steph Curry and his brain farts that nobody really talks about. You know what I mean? Going back from the Sacramento series.
yeah,
Yeah, I got to give LeBron James some credit. I want to give the guys. What's my man Lonnie Walker the fourth?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that's crazy. Like he scored 0 points the whole game, coming in fourth and scored 15.
Yeah, doing
Critical
doing
minutes,
doing wild numbers.
key minutes.
Absolutely.
Um, this I did not see this coming. It's crazy, and I gotta. There's a lot of finger pointing. There's a lot of people you could blame. Um, I gotta go. I gotta start with Jordan Poole
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for the simple fact that he got all this money.
Yep.
He got paid in the off season too. He got paid, and he's given nothing. He's
What did what did
terrible.
I tell you? What did I tell you behind the scenes? When we was talking behind the scenes, what did I tell you? He's putting on a Sean Alexander performance.
It's
People remember Sean Alexander when he got his money from the Seahawks. He
yeah.
was one of the most powerful running backs in the league. As soon as he got his money from the Seahawks, he started running out of bounds. He started falling down. He had
Got
to say,
farm.
you know what I mean? So,
He getting hurt. Yeah, Jordan
yeah,
Poole.
and
Jordan Poole has
Poole,
given them nothing this whole series,
during
man.
the preseason, he got his money. And now
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
but he's not showing up. So when you ask the question, is this the end of their dynasty? I wouldn't think it's the end. I think it's probably going to be retooled, revamped. I feel like there's a lot of people that may not be there next season. The key guys will be there. Speaking of, Steph, Clay, Wiggins, those three guys, you might, this may be the end of the Draymond era if they,
oh,
if he
I
wants to
think
come
it's
back.
definitely the end of the Draymond era.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's definitely not getting paid. He's
Mm.
not he's not getting another contract like he did the first time. I think that it's going to be kind of hard to try to move Poole because of that contract and
Right.
how he played this season, and also the antics of him getting punched in the face from Draymond Green during practice. I mean, when people say that, I feel like the Warriors is
I'm sorry, Jordan Poole. Don't beat me up. I'm sorry.
no. It seems like people saying that like they seem like the Warriors are
Yo,
not in sync. But of course,
he put the
of course the
snuffleupagus
Warriors,
on him, yo.
of course the
You know?
Warriors are not in sync when you have a guy who's perceived as a bully punching
Right.
you in the face.
Yeah.
Of course, you holding on to that. So when
Yep.
you guys get
Yeah.
into it,
Yep. Absolutely. That
and
was an
you are
over by a
not
long shot.
hitting, and if you're not hitting shots, you have an off game, and then this guy who punched you in the face come up to you and he's talking that talk to you. You need to get your head in the game. You need to be more engaged. You're not trying to hear none of that because only thing that you are seeing is you getting punched in the face by this guy again. Um, the one thing, the thing I would say about the Lakers is, what I said at the beginning of their series. The team will go as far as Anthony Davis go. Anthony Davis has now given me back-to-back consistent games. Because what we have seen throughout the season and in the playoff series, he'll have one good game, one great game, and the next game he'll give you 9. And that's what happened in game 2. He had amazing 30 and 20 game. And then game 2, he gave like 9 points. He had like 8, 9 points. And they lost. And then in game 3, super engaged on both ends of the court. Had about like 25 points. It was even scoring. Boom. They won that game. And then in last night game, again, engaging, real hype on both ends. And they won. And they won. But I feel like the Warriors gave the game away because there was
A lot of errors,
a lot of
missed
errors
layups,
at like the
yeah,
last
bad
minute of
decision
the
making.
game.
Absolutely.
The
When,
one
hey,
thing,
hey, Yada. When Walker don't want to hear that.
oh, I know he don't want to hear it, but guess what? He going to hear it because 1 minute left in the game. They down by 1. Clay throws up this terrible shot. Took the worst 3-pointer that he could take at that time. You don't need a 3-pointer.
Right.
You don't need.
Especially when
You
he's like
only
3
down
of
by
11.
1. You're down
Right.
by 1. It's a minute left. Hit the 2. Pass the ball. You still have so much time
And
left in
play
the
some
shot clock.
defense.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he still had so much time left in the shot clock. He opted with the bailout terrible 3-pointer. Then they go back. They get a stop. They come back. Steph. I mean, yeah, Steph. Terrible shot. No. The first shot wasn't a bad shot. He missed it. They get the rebound. Kick it back out to him. He throws up a terrible 28-footer.
Mm.
Terrible shot.
And
Okay.
and those words don't even go together. Sound right in the same sentence. Curry puts
Yeah.
up a terrible shot, Right.
Because these are shots that he generally make, but you still have so much time left in the shot clock. And again, you're only down by 1 point. And again, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. But sometimes you have to pull back
Use your better judgment.
and
Right.
and just drive the ball. You was killing them with the drive. That terrible shot. They go back. Again, the Lakers still hasn't scored a point. It's still like 105, 101. This still no. The Lakers did score. The Lakers scored. The score was 105. The Warriors came down. They scored. Boom. Still so much time left. The Lakers didn't score in the last like 48 seconds of the game. The ball was on the Warriors side of the court the whole entire time.
Mm.
They didn't call a timeout. I guess Steph didn't know that they had timeouts now because before he didn't know. People, some folks were saying, well, maybe he was tired when you playing that many minutes. Sometimes you don't have the best reflexes or you don't remember. You don't got the best memory that he didn't realize that he still had a timeout. Well, Steve Kerr hasn't been running up and down the court, so he knew that they still had a timeout, so he could have called a timeout.
And then you had 4 other dudes out there with you in the whole bench. And
Yeah,
19 assistant coaches. They none of them to tell you.
Anybody could have called a timeout.
Right.
So then Draymond gets the ball. He has Dennis Schroeder on him. He drives to the basket. Instead of taking the layup, he made a terrible pass that LeBron knew was coming. He trying to pass the ball to Wiggins as Wiggins is trying to set a pick to get Clay free. LeBron knew the pass was coming, deflects the pass, they get a jump ball. Somehow, the Warriors wins the jump ball. The ball is in Steph's hands. Instead of Steph just looking, he throws the ball over his head right on the ground. The ball go out of bounds. That's the game right there. Well, what is going on with the Warriors? Because this right here, it's a terrible sequence at the end of the game. They look super sloppy. Everybody did not know where to be on the
Right, right, right. What this like they didn't know what to do right in
how
those
to say.
situations.
Yeah, they
Right.
didn't know what they was doing.
These are the same Warriors we've been watching for years. You know what I mean? Usually
Wiggins had
make
a
those
terrible
short
game too.
passes, right? Make the
Yeah,
make the
like
make the
Wiggins had
play,
a bad game.
right? Absolutely.
Um, it was just an overall bad game at the end of the game. They let the Lakers come back. They was killing them. They was killing them the whole game. The Lakers kept themselves in orange reach, and what we always say, when you don't put the team away, you let them stay close. When you keep a team close, they're going to end up biting you in the butt, and that's exactly what happened at the end
And
of the
that's what
game.
happened.
That's what happens. So Lakers up 3-1. Nobody expect that. But I have to say, if a team could come back from 3-1, it would be the Warriors. They have already done it. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden.
But
Remember,
I'm gonna say this.
remember.
This
Don't
this 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 team is
wait a
not
minute.
that
Don't
team.
say that they was young because guess what? So were the Warriors.
Right. And I mean, this team is not those teams, right? When you
They
have, Steph Curry making uncharacteristic, you know, I don't want to call them C-web plays, but they're uncharacteristic coming from him because his IQ is usually better than that. You
yeah.
know, um, again, you don't factor that into a situation. You figure that Steph is going to do his thing, and a la I reference Game 7 in Sacramento. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But again, it's about the level of competition, right? So when you have guys like the Lonnie Walker the fourth stepping up, you know what I mean, the Austin Reeves stepping up, even the Dennis Schroeder stepping up in that situation, and in those particular situations, that's going to put a little bit more pressure on you now
Mm-hmm.
as a Steph Curry player, when you make those drives and try to do those little floaters or whatever, they might just they might show as where you might have a Sacramento guy, the De'Aaron Foxes, the Sabonises of the world will let you just get to the lane, right? And
Hey,
there's a difference
Steph Curry
between
had
just
triple
showing on
double
defense and letting you get to the lane. So
Yeah.
it throws you off. So again, you got that. You got Draymond Green making mistakes. You got Klay Thompson being off for this shot. You got Jordan Poole not even showing up. You got Andrew Wiggins trying, but he's still trying to find his way.
Trying to
Even
find
though
his
I
way
give him a
back.
lot of credit because it could definitely be worse. Andrew Wiggins is supposed to be doing what Jordan Poole is doing right now. If we're gonna keep it all the way green,
No, that's
right?
true. That's true.
Andrew Wiggins stepped in and like he ain't miss a beat, and
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I mean? So again, when you talk about those situations, you're expecting more out of the Golden State Warriors. Now they're in a situation where they got to win everything. They can't, and they got to go back to the crypto.com center for what is for Game 6, right? Because they go home for Game 5, they go back to LA for Game
Oh,
6,
yeah.
and they do Game 7 in San Francisco. So yeah, man. So again, they've been in situations where they were down 2-0. You know what I mean? But this is 3-1. 2-0 is
Hey,
different from 3-1. So
no,
again,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, are we going to see? Are we going to
Everything
see
we
the
have,
real Golden
but
State Warriors now? Steve Kerr's got a job to do as well.
no,
You
that's
know?
true. But like I said, they've been down 3-1 before. So
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
if any team could come back from 3-1 and take it, or at least take it to our seventh game, it could be the Warriors. I wouldn't be surprised. But they definitely have to
Well,
win tomorrow.
what do you think of
Well,
the
was it
talk?
tomorrow?
I think it is tomorrow. I
Yeah,
think it is
they
tomorrow. What
definitely
do
have
you
to
think
win.
about? What do you think about the situation where they, a lot of talk for these, so-called, talk heads, the ones that make all the money? they feel like you should rest LeBron and rest AD because you're not
No,
really going to win. There's no way you could win Game 5 on the road.
without both of them. No, what that right there?
Yeah, I didn't understand it either. You got
That's
your foot
the
on, you
most
got your foot on
backwards
their neck.
thing.
You finished the job.
Yeah, as we just said earlier, we want to end this series as quickly as possible, especially when you have two players like AD and LeBron. Because you need AD needs all the rest he can get, and LeBron for the next round. So if they can go in there and win Game 5, yes, they will play every minute of Game 5 if needed. So like LeBron, David Ham, Darvin Ham took LeBron out the game. LeBron stood at the score table. The next dead ball, LeBron was checked himself right back into the game. He didn't even sit down. So if you would have to hold LeBron hostage by gunpoint, tie him in some type of basement for him not to play in
Tell him
Game
he was
5.
tell him they was sending Bronny James back to Ohio State.
Exactly. Look, people, UFC, we will reject his offer. We're going to take back his offer, and
Yeah,
he's going
we
he's going to
gonna
go to
take his
Ohio
offer back.
State.
You know what I mean? We gonna be happy with Caleb Williams at quarterback. He gonna win another Heisman.
Yeah,
Then
he's
we
going to
got
win
Juju.
the Heisman.
We
We're
got
going to
Juju Watkins coming in playing on the women's team, so we'll be all right. And
Yeah.
then we got the other kid, the Collier kid coming in. We don't need Bronny. Send him back to Ohio State. Go ahead.
So for them to say that they should rest LeBron and AD,
Right.
that's the most. Oh my God, that's the most ridiculous thing I heard someone say about a playoff series. Like this is like I'm up 3-1. I'm gonna take my best two players and send them out and say, you know
And
what?
rested because you're on the road for Game 5, and
Yeah.
your object now is to win it at home in
Yeah.
Game 6.
So as we had talked about storylines, so that's the storyline right there.
Mm.
Is that what we want to see? We want to see Warriors come out, blow the Lakers out. Steph gets like 40, 50 points.
Clay is 9 for
Clay got
13 from 3.
35. Yeah.
Right.
Clay got 35. He like 8 from 11 from 3-point. Jordan Poole got 25.
Right.
That's
right.
22. Draymond got a triple
Got
double.
25.
Kaminga got like 30 rebounds. What are we doing here? And then they go back to the crypto.com center, and then everybody forgets how to shoot. And AD got 40, and LeBron got 35. And then they
Lonnie Walker, the fourth, scored 17 in the third quarter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Austin Reeves got 20 points.
Absolutely.
Got like 18.
D'Angelo Russell got 16 assists.
Yeah, right. like what are we doing here? Like what is going on? So I would definitely I definitely hope that Ham don't LeBron said, AD said. I don't think that they will, especially LeBron, will even accept that.
Right.
I
got a question. WWWD. What would Windwalker do?
Oh, Windwalker would definitely have LeBron and AD playing.
He have LeBron and Bronny
and all of them. And Bryce. Look,
you know what I mean?
He'll get Magic.
Hey, better, man. We here. We got you. No doubt. Listen.
He'll ask Kareem if he can suit up.
Norm Nixon. You know what I mean? Get Kurt Rambis up. Listen, we in the building, man, down in Sports Talk. We do this every Tuesday night, man, 8 to 9 p.m. We appreciate all the support and the love, man. If you like what like what we're doing over here, it's a support offering for Down in Sports Talk at $ left-handed. You already know the vibes. We on Twitter, we on Facebook, we on StreamYard. We go hard body karate. So this one over here, Y'all the Bears get ready for football season. You know, the schedules get ready to drop and all that. But before we get to that, I know, I
Go
know.
ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna need my space right now.
Yep, go ahead.
Check this out here. We get ready to have this little conversation about this New York Knicks, my New York Knicks, and the Miami Heat. The Knicks find themselves in a 3-1 hole. Now, I don't want to sound like the biggest, the hater. I'm not really with these new jacks. I call them fresh baby breaths. If you follow me on Twitter, I call them fresh baby breaths. Like, and I don't really kind of subscribe to their thinking. When you win a game, it's parade time on 34th Street. I'm trying to get to the train station and go home. I don't need to get through all of that madness, right? Act like you've been there before, but I get it. You haven't, and I get it. But when you have a cat like myself who's been watching these Knicks for years and years and years before y'all was even thought of, and I kind of like call it like I see it, and y'all, oh, you old, you don't know what's going on, you out of touch, you don't know what's going on, this and that and the third. I do know what's going on. I know exactly what's going on. And what's going on with the Knicks right now is they're centering their situation around somebody who really is not built for that job. I said that 2 years ago when Julius Randle missed every other shot that he took in the playoff series against Atlanta. I watched every minute of that series. Julius Randle did not make 2 shots in a row. Period. I said back then, Julius Randle, for all that most improved player and the regular season that he had, which was super, super dope, absolutely, not taking nothing away from him. But where was he when the playoff, Trae Young and John Collins and all those dudes was killing us? I said, Julius Randle owes us a playoff series. I've been saying that ever since then. For last year, I said it. This year, I said it. I was laughed out the building. They called me everything under the sun. But I'm going to use an old school word on you. My thoughts and my sentiments was on fleek. Yeah, I took it there. Understand that. I know what I'll be looking at. Julius Randle is not the dude. Shout out to my man Julito McCullum from The Wire. Shout out to my man Sadat X, Brand Nubian. Shout out to Knicks Fan TV. Shout out to everybody who's a Knicks fan who rocks out. But you can't be blinded. It's cool to like what you like and rock how you rock. But don't put the cart before the horse. Because you win a couple of games here and there. We don't not have that guy, the nucleus, the guy that we can depend on. We had to put all of that weight on a point guard, Jalen Brunson. And he's proved his worth. Jalen Brunson don't owe us nothing. Julius Randle, he owes us a playoff series. It's getting ready to be 2. Now, I say all that to say this. When the Knicks are doing their thing, what did I tell you, y'all? Way back in the day, I said, when the Knicks get right, Tom Thibodeau's not going to be the coach.
Yeah, you said that. Mm-hmm.
I was adamant, even before, from the after further review days, the what about that game days, the season ticket days, all of that. I always said that the Knicks should keep this core group, the Barretts, the Quickleys, the Obies, all of those dudes, keep them. Because whoever you trade to get in here, when they was after LeBron, when they was after Russell Westbrook, when they was talking about Dame Lillard, all of those dudes you talking about, you're breaking up what you tried to build. Worldwide West, Scott Perry, and those guys. You tried to build that. Keep it. Now, after watching what I'm watching in this series right here, win or lose, this is not going to be the same Knicks team coming back, going forward. We got to get somebody in here. And when I say somebody, I'm going back to, what is it, Leah, may she rest in peace. Are you that somebody? Are you that somebody? We got to get somebody in here that's going to put their foot down and be,
So y'all need a superstar?
We need a superstar. That's what we need, because we don't have that. And for all those people that, jumping up and down, screaming and hollering because the Knicks won a playoff game, I wonder how it's going to be after Game 5 You know what I mean? Tomorrow night. Because again, we're in survival mode. Are we gonna win game 5, then go back down to Miami and get snuffed in game 6? Like this is where I'm at with this team. I kind of like turned a new leaf. I'm trying to understand. But at the end of the day, Julius Randle, man, you gotta show up. You gotta show up. And I'm a Knicks fan. A lot of people, I'm cutting the Knicks off and I'm done with the Knicks and all
I
that.
feel like that's what fans do. Like true hard body fans, we can love them and we can hate them and we can point out when they're doing dumb stuff. Now I hear everything you're saying about Julius Randle, but what about everybody else? What about Obi Toppin, RJ
Absolutely,
Barrett,
quickly. The RJ
Quickly?
Barrett, all of those dudes. I mean, what got us over in the Cleveland series, and I keep it current. What got us over in the Cleveland series and a lot during the regular season was our bench production. Hartenstein, he'd show up. You know what I mean? Obi would show up. Quickly would show up. You know what I mean? You could kind of like rely on those dudes because you was going to get some kind of positive production out of your bench.
Yeah.
Something was going to happen. But when you're not getting any positive production from anybody on the bench, this is what happens. And again, is the Miami Heat that much better than the Knicks? I don't think so. I just think the Knicks haven't played this entire series. I think the Knicks, and what did I say behind the scenes, Yada? I said I think from the closeout game when we played Cleveland in the third quarter, right, and in the fourth quarter of that closeout game, that's when it started to go downhill. You saw Mitchell Robinson running up and down the court with his mouth wide open.
Mm-hmm.
The energy wasn't in their steps. The bounce wasn't there. Okay, we got Cleveland up out of here as we should have. And I'm not mad at that. But then we turn around and go into a Miami series that has a bona fide guy and bona fide guys that have been in those situations. Kyle Lowry, Adebayo, Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? These guys, they win this series. They're going to play for the Eastern Conference Championship 3 out of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So again, that's an experience and their coach. You know what I mean? Again, the Knicks. I just feel like I love the Knicks. I love my team. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I will never jump out of the window when we haven't done anything. But all you new cats, I salute you because the energy is there. We just have to keep it kind of like to a level of let us do something first. Then you can jump out the window for real if you want to. That's you. But I'm going to be at the parade. I don't care how old I am, how old I get. I will be at the next parade. Absolutely.
When I saw watching the game, the fact that it was like Knicks had like no heart,
Right.
In the
Step
game.
slow. Right.
Yeah. Everybody was a tad slow, tad behind. Nobody was really
wasn't getting to the 50 balls. Right. Absolutely. None of that. None of that. None of that.
And then we look at, we want to home in on Julius Randle right now. He fouled out in the third quarter.
That's our thing. We never get it right. The third quarter, even again, I'm gonna bring it up again. Every game when we played Atlanta 2 years ago, soon as halftime was over, you know what I mean? We were struck. I remember one game specifically. It might have been game 2. We were down like 10 points, and then we got it down to 4 just before the half. I turned the TV back to the game, and we down by 12 with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Julius Randle still didn't make no shots. So, I mean, I'm heavy on Julius Randle because I hear all these cats talk about Julius Randle is the guy, and Julius Randle is this, Julius Randle is that. That's regular season Julius Randle. Are we dealing with 2 Julius Randles here?
Hey, we may, but this is something that we talked about last week also about the Knicks, the lack of leadership.
Yeah.
There's no veteran leadership on the floor. So as I was talking about how like PJ came up to Joel and said something to him, who's saying that to anybody on the Knicks? When you look over at the Heat, they got, like you said, they got Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love. You got 2 former NBA champion and that guy and Jimmy Butler who's been doing this for years on multiple teams.
You go back to the Timberwolves days.
Yeah. He's been doing things like this for years. So, which is helping the guys like the Matt Strews, the
Right.
Caleb,
Right. The
uh,
Duncan Robinsons. Right.
Caleb
That's right.
Robinsons, the Bam, the Vincents, like
Mm-hmm.
some of these guys was has been undrafted, and now
Right.
they are in. They are 3 games to one, on the verge of going to the Eastern Conference Championship without Tyler Hero.
Right.
And mind you, their sharpshooter Duncan Robinson, he only had like 3 points.
So I'm going to say this about my Knicks, man. I just think that right now it's not over. You know, give them a
Hey,
good
again,
representation.
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Ask Kevin
Just take
Garnett.
it one game at a
You know what I
time.
mean? And I think that again, does this Knicks team have it in them? Hell yeah, they got it in them. You know what
Listen,
I
if
mean?
they can
But
if they can take game 5, now they only. I mean, yeah. If they take game 5,
if they
then
take game, you out of bear.
they down 3-2.
Listen, Browski. If the Knicks take game 5, all the pressure still gonna be on them. Ain't no pressure gonna be on Miami Heat
Oh
until
no,
they have to
yeah,
come back here for a game 7.
yeah,
Ain't no pressure gonna be
because
on
they
Miami
got,
until they have to
yeah,
come back here
because you
for a
get,
game 7. That's it.
yep, you give them 3 chances to win one game. So
That's it.
if the Knicks win game 5, they go back 3-2. Like I said, the pressure is still on the Knicks.
Absolutely.
Now the question is, can the Knicks win back-to-back games against Miami?
They gonna have to win back to back to back.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying just to get to a
No, yeah,
game
I
7.
hear you. I understand. I
You
hear you.
know, can they win back-to-back games against Miami? Because what I've known
Yeah.
of Jimmy Butler is when he is in the driver's seat and he seems to be on a revenge tour. I feel like this is the revenge tour for the bubble championship right here.
It
Because
might
look at
be.
both
It
series.
might
Both
be.
of them are up 3-1.
Right.
So this may be their revenge tour, and I kind of feel like, Jimmy Butler already got counted out as soon as the playoffs started, with them being what the eighth seed, and then Tyler Hero go now. So then right there, we like, oh, Milwaukee
And
should
all they said,
drown
and
these
do the
guys.
math. Do the math. All they said about Tyler Hero, he won't be back until the finals.
Yeah.
They didn't
So
say he's gonna miss the season or
he,
he's out or he's done.
it
He'll be
says
back for
get
the
to the
finals.
finals. So so
Is that in the script? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it must be because they up 3-1. They trash the Bucks. They're trashing the Knicks. And
Hey, 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 hey,
but
hey.
I'm just saying that. Listen, it is what it is. And to make matters
No
worse,
pun intended. Shout out to Cam and Mace.
yeah, and to make matters worse, one of those victories was when Jimmy Butler didn't even play. So you telling me that you can't
Couldn't
believe
even
that
take
was
advantage of that, Browski. Couldn't even take
yeah,
advantage of that. Couldn't take
yeah.
advantage of it.
So that right there just shows me that, you know what? I kind of feel like they folded their hands. They threw the hand in. They ain't got no spades. So they threw the hand in. And it's not going to be a good look for Worldwide West, Tibbs, Randall, Dolan, all them guys over there. Because this was supposed to be y'all, yeah, y'all made a splash by bringing in, Bronson. And then y'all made another splash by
At
bringing
the
in
deadline,
Josh
got Josh Hart.
Hart.
That's right.
You know,
Who's playing like Jordan Poole.
he's he was an invisible guy that was there also, and like you said, you got this guy Julius Randle who supposed to be quote unquote, the leader, but there's no leadership skills. You got a kid Mitchell Robinson who still hasn't developed anything.
Mm,
He's just
mm,
tall.
mm.
It's like, what is he working on?
Listen, Browski. He playing like he started when he was 17.
Yeah, exactly. He has no offensive
You
skill
know,
set at
like
all.
what's going on here?
He's just tall,
Yeah,
and then you got Toppin, who is again inconsistent. Also
yeah.
Grimes. inconsistent. It's like
Yeah.
they hot one game, ice cold the next. You don't even see them. They're out there shooting bricks. And then you got your guy Julius Randle who just out here just hacking up a storm for no reason.
For no reason. For no reason
No
at
reason
all.
at all. You know
No
how many
reason.
open shots on open dunks Bam Alabama had in yesterday
Bam
game?
Adebayo, Caleb Martin, all them
Yeah.
dudes was dunking all over the Knicks.
It
It
was
was
like
dunking all over them.
it was
You know what I mean?
crazy. Yeah,
So
I was
again,
so confused watching. And then we look at Tibbs as a defensive guy. He was a defensive specialist, but your guys are out there doing nothing. Like these Julius Randle falling out in the third quarter is unacceptable.
listen,
And, but also I gotta put blame on Tibbs too because my man, you see what he out here doing. He's hacking like crazy. You gotta send him down and you gotta talk to him. Like you gotta take some accountability on your action also by not saving himself from himself. And he just he
saving
just
himself
let
for
him
himself.
ride out there. Just
Listen, man.
Tim said, "Go ahehead, Julius. Go. You
Listen,
know what's best. Go ahead."
and again, at the end of the day, like I said it on my Twitter. For me, watching the rest of this series unfold, it's going to be like an audition for who's going to stay and who's going to go. Because
Oh
we
yeah,
dealt with this. We tried to make a core situation out of this where you got some guys that are here that are going to be here. But now I think everybody's just playing for they ended up for their next destination. Because we got to definitely get somebody in here because you don't want to. And as a Knicks fan, I say this as a Knicks fan, we got respect this season that we didn't even see coming. Was it ahead of the curve? No.
mm,
But no. I don't want to say it was ahead of the curve because you know why? Everybody we really didn't have no serious rookies on this team. You know what I
no,
mean? That
I
we was
wouldn't say
trying.
it
We
was
had
ahead.
R.J. Barrett's been around. Obi's
Yeah,
been around. Quickly's been around. He was hurt for a minute. Julius Randle, his regular season production was off the
yeah.
hook. He did what he did. Mitchell Robinson actually did what he did. You know what I mean? So I think that were we going to win a title this year? No.
No,
Could we
I
go?
feel
Could we
like
go
the
to the
Knicks
Eastern
is where
Conference
they were
Finals?
supposed to
Hell
be.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just think that we kind of like ran out of gas. That to me, that's the best way I can put it. We ran out of gas, and again, you're gonna have to have somebody that's gonna push these guys. You know what I mean? Somebody like you said, somebody's gonna get in Julius Randle's face and say, "Like, look, dog, either you with us or you not." You know what I mean? When you have
Julius
35 and
Randle was
making the
eating him.
game-winning shot in Miami and hitting the winning shot at the buzzer, it's all good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But bring
it
some
looks
of that
nice.
dog, bring some of that grit, bring some of that determination with you to the playoffs, which we have not seen. We
Yeah.
haven't seen it, and I don't want to. And I don't want to see it in Game 5. If I see it
Where
in
those
Game 5,
where those
I'm gonna need to see it
57
in Game
points
6,
at?
and I'm gonna need to see it in Game 7, or it don't mean
Where,
nothing.
where them 57 points at? I just,
I don't know. I'm looking over here for it. You see it? I don't see it.
I'm sorry.
You know
I'm
what I'm
sorry for
saying?
saying that. I'm sorry
Nah,
for saying
you dead
that,
right. You dead right.
but
Score update.
it's
Yeah, score update. The Sixers is getting busy. Look like the Sixers getting busy right now. I'll let Yada do the honors. That's her squad and
well
all that.
it's 86-69 about 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Hey, I'm not super excited because we still have the fourth quarter, okay?
Uh
And
oh.
we have
You
seen
talking like
multiple.
you talking about my team.
Listen, I'm talking like I have seen my team um let teams come back and go into overtime because game four we was blowing them out and we let them go. We almost gave the game away. We let them
Mm.
come back. So we still got a whole nother quarter. They gotta keep the foot on the gas, foot on their neck, and keep putting up points. One key thing that I'm seeing that Doc is actually playing the bench. We have Daniel House sighting out here who's actually
Mm-mm.
producing and is keeping the game upbeat. We are running more.
Right.
We're not
Keeping the flow.
stagnant.
Right.
Yeah. Maxi is extremely engaged. He hit a couple of threes. He's scoring. Like I said, Joel's doing what he's doing. Tobias showing up also finally, and now we got the bench going in there. So Daniel House, Doc, I guess Doc looked down the bench, was like, "Look, I need a spark from one of you guys," and Daniel House has stepped up and to provided some excitement and some offense and defensive play for us. So
That's right. That's what's
way
up.
to go. Way to go, Doc, for stepping out of his comfort zone of just playing vets and bringing in a guy like Daniel House to give the Sixers a little spark. So
That's
I'm
what's
looking
up.
forward to more.
Listen, we in the building, man. Down in Sports Talk, talking our basketball, NBA playoff stuff. We did a little whirlwind of each series.
Yeah.
Um, Real quick, um, next week we got the WNBA season preview. We promise next week. And
Promise.
send your emails and letters over there to that one.
Listen, it was just
Send
so
your emails
much
to that one over there.
playoff stuff happening that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to cut my ladies short. I'm just giving them a little small sample size of that. I want to, be able to give them a little in depth.
That's right. Absolutely.
Take a look at the rosters. Look at the who made the cut, who made the team, because
and who didn't? That's right.
who didn't,
That's
'cause
right.
there's
Absolutely.
so
Because
many talented women who got
yes,
cut because the lack of teams.
let's go, Browski. Absolutely.
Okay? And here I go again, saying the
Mhm.
same thing over
Yep.
and over again. We have
This one said that months ago. They need
yes,
expansion. They need a WNBA team in Philly months ago.
Listen, I need one in Philly. We need one in Boston. We need one in these historic, original NBA towns, these basketball towns, because yes, they will support them. They keep saying, "Oh, well, what else?" They will support women's basketball, especially in basketball cities. Philly's a basketball city. Boston's a basketball city.
So you can
Detroit is a basketball city.
put one in New Orleans.
Yes, that
Put
has
one in,
become
put
a
one in
basketball
Iowa
city.
City. Put one in Iowa City. Yeah, let's go. You know what I mean?
Put
Um,
put it where the people are.
right. That's right. And again,
Especially who loves women's sports. Like they love the
absolutely.
Iowa women team. That would be the perfect spot. But
Yep.
who am I?
And it's a definite call for that too, because like you said, the cuts that are being made. Wow, you could probably hit 2 or 3 or 4 expansion teams just from the ladies that are getting cut. It's wild. It's wild. It's hard. It's wild out here. It's wild out here. But we're gonna get
rookies and vets.
we're gonna get into that next week. Absolutely. WNBA season starts May 19th.
Yes.
We're gonna chop it up, give you a East-West preview and all that. Tomorrow, for all our down in sports talk heads and sports talk heads in general, tomorrow you should pay attention to your Twitter feeds. Tomorrow, I got a little connect over there at the NFL office. And it said he told me that tomorrow, in lieu of the NFL schedule drop on Thursday, tomorrow you'll know pretty much where and when your teams will be playing. Just just check your Twitter or follow your team online or whatever. You'll find out when and where they'll be playing.
The NFL knows what they're doing.
NFL gonna give y'all some treats this year. In addition to the regular Thursday, Thanksgiving games, you're gonna get a game on Black Friday. And then here's the kicker: Adam Silver's gonna love this. They got 3 they got 3 games, 3 NFL games scheduled for Christmas.
It's the tickets for Black Friday on
yes.
sale.
They got Black Friday. So I guess
Black Friday sale.
I guess all of that, getting up early in the morning, going to those stores. There's gonna be a lot of people going by themselves, because they're gonna need their rest. Their husbands and stuff gonna need to rest for the Black Friday game, especially if it's like Eagles and the Giants.
Also, what did we say about these televised games? All these games are free agents. There's no
There's no conferences tied in the networks no more. That's right. No conferences. So if you're used to seeing a particular, like the AFC, like here in New York, the AFC is on channel 2, the NFC is on channel 5. You'll see anybody anywhere. This
Yeah,
is
like
this is this is it's a free for all. The international games going on. So again, this is really gonna be a crazy time.
we might
As
have
far as
two
getting
Thursday
those
night
games
football
in.
games. Like your team might
Yeah.
have two Thursday night football games. Your
Yep.
team
Some
may not
teams. Yeah,
have
what do
a
they
prime
say, Yada?
time
Some
game.
team. Nope. Some teams won't get Thursday night games. Some teams will play on Thursday night twice.
Some teams won't have any prime time games.
Yeah.
So
And, and,
your
and
team, if your team is
well,
terrible
Tampa Bay will play all their games on Sunday at 1 or 4.
at 104, listen, so if your team is
At one
bad,
o'clock or
we
4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
we may never
Yeah.
see you on Monday night ever
Man,
again.
listen, it's gonna be a hard time. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna save all my conversation for that when we do the NFL preview. Because
Yeah,
man,
I
oh
mean,
man,
with some of the schedule of some of the games we already seen, like the Super Bowl matchup,
mm-hmm.
um,
Chiefs Eagles, yep,
Eagles was it week 2,
yeah,
which is
and
crazy.
Arrowhead, yep,
Like you
yeah. We
said,
already seen that one.
why you
That
not
one's a
open
definite.
weekend?
That's a
You know?
definite.
Yeah,
Eagles at Chiefs week 2. Yep. So we're seeing
yeah,
it. It's starting to trickle out and leak out already.
yeah. I mean, we got a what? Who else? Eagles 49ers. I can't wait for that game because a certain player just can't get over the fact that they lost. Debo Samuels keep talking. He is like obsessed over that game. Like he keeps bringing it up. It's like you guys lost. It's okay. Everybody can always win.
Right.
It wouldn't matter. Listen, I put it this way: it wouldn't matter if they would had Jimmy G, Trey Young, Brock Purdy. If they just put all the arms together and made one arm to put on one guy, it wouldn't matter. They would
Look at this.
still want to lose that game.
Weezy. All you
They could have made
49ers
a
fans, send
super
your
arm.
emails over there. I don't have time for that. Send your emails over there.
They could have made a super arm for whatever quarterback they want. It still wouldn't matter.
The
Like
greasiness. The greasiness.
I keep telling them, don't be mad at the Eagles. Be mad at your offensive line.
Mm.
Be mad at your coach for putting George Kittle 1-on-1 with Hassan Reddick. Who does that? Come on now. We know George Kittle is not.
We already know who do that. The 49ers.
We all know George Kittle's not a blocking tight end. He's a receiving tight end. That's not what
Listen,
he does.
man, we in the building. This is what we do down in Sports Talk, man. Salute to
I
everybody
can't
that
wait
rocks
for
with us.
football.
Listen, you see, this one can't wait for football because she already got the title.
Wait.
She got the title in the deed for club undefeated. For
I
club,
can't.
what we
Yeah,
gonna do this year? Club 12-0, club 13-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't. I can't wait for it, man, because it's so many different storylines going to play out here. Because
Oh yeah,
you know the Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers versus the AFC East. That's what it's going to be.
And you got a whole OTA training camp. A preseason out of Deshaun Watson, and those Ravens and Browns games are going to be money ball. You know what I mean? So again, it's going to be very exciting, and we're going to be here for all of that. Down in Sports Talk every Tuesday night, 8 to 9 p.m. Myself, left-handed at RM Des on Twitter, and the ubiquitous Yada Bear in the building every Tuesday night doing what we do. Y'all rock out with us, man. YouTube, StreamYard, Facebook. Yes. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate the support. Y'all make sure y'all check us out on 6zeros as well. 6zeros.net. We over there as well. So make sure you check us out. Rest in peace, Denny Crum. Louisville basketball coach. Rest in peace, Joe Cap, Minnesota Vikings quarterback. And extra strength, rest in peace, Vita Blue. Mm-hmm. Like one of my heroes coming up because he was left-handed. You know what I mean? And he was on those championship Oakland A's teams. If you don't know about those, do your homework on those championship Oakland A's teams. And when Walker get better, my guy, we're looking forward to you. Y'all got some things to tell you. You know what I mean? Y'all got some things to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else, man, just do your thing. Hold your corner. We in the building down in Sports Talk, man. We out. Another Tuesday is down. We salute y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Don't go nowhere.